Hi everyone, it's Tuesday, March 25th, and tonight's homework is topic 4-6, 1 through 15 all, and 17 through 21 odd. And 1 through 5 is in the guided practice, as you can see here. And many of you were able to get through this part in class where you're completing the t-table. Again, it's important to pay attention to negative numbers. Don't get tricked up by applying a negative when you shouldn't, or forgetting to apply it when you should. So be sure to do the math correctly, take your time, and check your work. Here you're going to graph the ordered pair and then draw the line through the points, which, as you all know, is the linear equation. That is the visual representation of this equation. Okay. Then it asks, is the equation y equals 5x minus 5 a linear equation? And explain. So there's a few different ways you can do this. You can plug in different values for x, find out what y is, create a t-table, take those ordered pairs, plot them on to a coordinate plane, and then connect them with a line and see if they are. Okay, you should also be able to tell what a linear equation looks like by what is happening in the equation. You've got an x and it's set equal to y when certain things are done to it. So here it's being multiplied by 5 and then it's being subtracted by 5. So in this sense, it's very similar to all of the other equations that you have seen before. Okay, similar to this equation up here. We have x being multiplied by 2 and then adding a -6 to it. Very similar. Okay, so you should start to recognize that equations like this are linear. Okay, you can also, they're not all like that, but you can start to recognize when they are. So take a look and see, plug some x values in there and see if it is linear. Okay, next, at what point does the equation y equal 5x minus 5 cross the y-axis? So they're asking you, when does the line cross the y-axis? They're looking for the coordinates. And in number 5, is the point 1, 0 a solution of this equation? So two different ways you can look. You can take a look at your graph from number 2 and check, is 1, 0 on that line? Or you can plug each of these into this equation and see if it balances out. Two ways to do it. Okay. Next, you're going to move on to the independent practice. And this independent practice is what we did earlier today. With 6, 7, and 8, you get the x values. Okay. You are to complete the t-table and then graph each equation, plotting the points and drawing the line through the points. That's how you show the linear equation. For 9 through 12, you've got the equations. They ask you to make the t-table. So that means you get to pick the values for x, and then you're graphing each equation again. I cannot stress enough, you need your own graph for each of these. It makes it much easier to understand what you're trying to do. So your own graph, okay? All right, now we go back onto the next page. And for 13, 14, and 15, it's asking you to use the information that's shared here and in this t-table. Although it is a little bit strange because it has 3 columns, this is a t-table. It just is broken down by the type of animal that have these two relationships. The relationship between food per animal and the extra feed per pen. So go ahead and read this, and then you are going to go ahead and graph 13, 14, and 15. And it's important for you to understand and to see that, and I'll show an example, that in 13 or in 14, 15, 13, 14, 15, it asks you to set up your coordinate plane very specifically, okay? It says use the equation given, okay? Here are the equations given, okay? to make a t-table. So you need a t-table for each one of these, and draw a graph in the first quadrant showing the relationship between the amount of food and number of animals. So they're asking you, here's the first quadrant where y is positive and x is positive, okay? It's asking you to plot the points, okay? And then draw a linear equation. Here it says let x equal the number of animals, okay? So here is number of antelope, okay? So I've taken 13 and I've gone ahead and put that here, number of antelope, and y equals the number, the total amount of food. So I've put feed here in pounds. This is how much food is eaten in relation to the antelope. Okay, so I've plugged in specific points into this equation and I have graphed my linear equation here. Okay, you're going to do the same thing for 13, 14, and 15. Okay, you're going to use, okay, you can use these points here, okay, these values here, and figure out, you can plug those in to figure out what the equation is. Okay, it would be a little backwards because these are the y value. Let y equal the total amount of food. So here's the total amount of food, but this is how you would work that problem. Again, comment if you have any questions. Let me know. Okay. Next, we're going to move to 17, 19, and 21. 17 is writing to explain. The zookeeper brings 15 pounds of food to the sheep pen. How can you determine how many animals there are? So here you can use your graph that you create for the sheep, okay? Or you can use this, okay? And then you have to write to explain. So again, the zookeeper brings 15 pounds of food to the sheep pen. How can you determine how many animals there are? Here, if you use this, and when it says animals, it means sheep. It doesn't mean deer, sheep, goats, and animals and elk. It means how many sheep are in that pen. So if y equals 15, solve now for x. Okay, again, now you're isolating this variable. You're trying to get it by itself so you can find out what x equals. Okay, that should be a pretty good clue for number 17. Number 19, it asks, which of the following ordered pairs is found on the line y equals 5 minus 6x? So you're going to need to go ahead. You can plug in these points and find out how it balances, so you can do it mathematically. Or you can plot one of these points or all of them on a coordinate graph, find out which one goes through the line after you've picked some values for x, created a t-table, and then plotted all those points. Okay, so there's two ways you can do it. Plug it in, plug these numbers into the equation, or pick values for x, create a t-table, and create a coordinate plane with plots, pointed plots, and with a linear equation. Number 21, it says Terry received 44 points out of a possible 50 points on the math test. What is his score percent? This should be pretty simple for you, okay? I'm not going to give too much of a hint, but again, you can set it up as a ratio. You can also use if 50 points is half of 100, if you double that, you could also do the same to this. Just make sure that you're paying attention to keeping it balanced. And what I mean by that is if you do something to this, make sure you're doing the same to this. Okay, that should be it for tonight. I hope that was a big help for you. If you need more help, give me a comment and I will respond to you. And I do want to give a shout out to group number 4 in class 27. They made up I think it was Emma and maybe Natasha or Emma and Ashlyn. I can't remember who it was, but they made up a really good way to remember which coordinates go first on a graph. And they said, if you remember the alphabet, you'll know that X always comes before Y. So as you can see all here, these are all X coordinates, okay? And these second numbers are all Y because X comes before Y in the alphabet. So you should apply that same thinking here with your ordered pairs. All right, great job today, you guys. It was really fun doing the lesson today. Hope you have a good time tonight in your homework, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.